school, your sport, your team, your game. Live from the BGO studio. Presented by Mingy Beef Jerky. This is the one and only. The man, the myth, the legend. This is the king of stream. William Warfield. William Warfield.
Man, that intro guy has got me pumped up here. He's talking big time for me here on the podcast, and what a great voice that guy's got that did our intro for us. I don't even know the guy, but we paid him to do it, and you talking about delivering. What a great intro there. How's everybody doing tonight? William Warfield here with you in the BGO studios, and man, we got a great show lined up here tonight. We're going to talk a little girls basketball. I got Coach Lee Tegt with the Lexington Catholic Lady Knights going to be joining us here shortly. And again, want to thank Mingy Beef Jerky, the official game day snack of PrepSpin. Coach Tegt for being a guest on the show tonight. We'll get a bag of Mingy Beef Jerky. I'll have to see what his favorite flavor is, but we'll have that for him. And without further ado, let's bring in Coach Lee Tegt. And Coach, how's everything going?
It's going good. How are you doing? I'm glad to be here tonight. I'm excited for this.
Yes, sir, man. I got to tell you, I thought you guys, well, the girls, I thought they did an excellent job. I thought you did a great job in coaching them this past season, and, a lot to build on for the future there with Lexington Catholic girls basketball.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. We had nothing to do with me. The girls, they did do awesome this year. They went out there. They did everything we asked of them and more, and we say all the time, we didn't score a single point. We didn't get a single rebound as a coach. The girls did it, and it complete buy-in on their part, and they did it. Probably the thing I'm most proud of is the fact is they never quit one game. They competed the entire time, and that competitive character is something we started with day one, and they bought into that, and they showed it in them. So they went out there and did it. So it's they made me a proud coach. I was lucky to have that group of girls.
Yeah, not bad at all. I mean, for being your first season there, and I know you've been an assistant coach there for quite a while as well. But to take on the challenge of stepping in there for Coach True that went off over to Franklin County as assistant coach. You step in there. I think initially they named you interim coach, and then they said, well, this guy's doing pretty good. Let's just make him the head coach.
Yeah, it was a process. And, Coach True is the guy who brought me to Catholic. So I worked with him for years. I worked with him for 7 years. He taught me a lot of what I know. And he built that program year in and year out. So he did a great job of helping to prepare what I inherited there. Great man, great coach. Think the world of him. And Franklin County has a great coach in him that's going to really add something to their program. They are an elite program. He's an elite coach. He's going to bring something to them every day that's going to help make them better. That moving, everyone jokes that those 18 inches from that second seat to that front seat, big 18 inches, even though it's a small distance, and it absolutely is. A lot of sleepless nights, a lot less sleep being in that position. But I loved every second of it. Wouldn't want to trade it for anything.
You all did a lot of team bonding during the season, especially like when you went down to Florida. I thought that was really what made everything started to click for you. I mean, because you guys came back as a closer group, it seemed like, after that trip.
Florida was a great trip, and it was kind of when I got named the head coach when the season started. I got the coaching staff together, and we said the number one thing we want to build with this team is really looking at culture. Culture wins. It does, before any X's and O's, the relationship you have as a team, the culture you have as a program is what's going to take you as far as it can take you. So first thing we said is, how do we want to build culture here, and what do we want to build that with? Florida was great for that. Bringing all the girls together, getting to get away for a week and do nothing but basketball and be around each other. And we say all the time that what we do inside the line is really only about 5% of who we are as a team and a program. It's that 95% of what we do off the lines together that's really going to produce, and inside the lines. People they really don't care how much they know, how much you Really want to know that you care about them, and that feeling, that bond you have with your teammates, it's what's going to take you to the next level. So yeah, we try to do something weekly, monthly with a team, and because we knew that's what's really going to translate between the lines. That's what builds a team. Culture and a team wins a game.
Yeah,
not exile.
Yeah, how was practicing going for you all? Were you throwing anything new in there for the girls this year? And if so, what are some of those things that you were doing?
So we did. We graduated 5 seniors off the team, so we had a whole new team coming back. So when in the coaching staff, we're thinking, how can this team how do they need to play successful? So we actually changed everything, the defense, the tempo it's going to be. I think you're going to see that in some of our highlights. We thought we really got to play up tempo with this. We got to really kind of cut these girls loose. From 1 to 9 talent, we were playing 9 girls, if not more, on a given night. Something we really thought was a benefit to us compared to other programs we see is our depth. So how can we use that? And that's where we kind of changed our pace of play and how we want to play. So, we took and made practice as competitive as we could. We set a competitive character, one of our team standards. You have to be willing to compete every day. Not just character, but competitive character. And that competitive character is going to bring that passion in you do. And on day 1, I told the girls and all the coaching staff said, you're only ready for one thing when you come to practice. And that one thing is the energy you bring. The X's and O's, the drills, the fundamental, you let us have to come with a good energy and be the you can be for 2 hours. That's the only thing that we demand out of you. We're not demanding that you have to win so many games. We're not demanding that you meet certain goals. You just have to bring energy. It has to be positive energy, and you have to hold each other accountable. We're not going to coach in. We said that. That's one thing we're not going to coach. We are not going to coach energy. And we said that's what you're responsible for bringing every day to practice.
Yeah, I thought your 2 seniors did a great job with helping you out. When I talk about your seniors, Lucy Berry, Lily Giles, they really bought into your system there and kind of led the way with that close knit group, if you will.
Oh, absolutely did. I mean, like I said, it takes buy-in from everyone on a team to be successful, and those 2 seniors absolutely bought in. I can remember when we kind of did our interview tonight talking about Lucy is when you think of what you want in a teammate and someone who's a team player and you want someone on your team, that's Lucy.
Yeah.
She's going to make everyone she's going to put everyone first before her on that team to make that team successful. No matter what it is, she's going to put people first. Lily is just a team competitor. She's going to go out there and she's going to do whatever needs to happen for the team to be successful too. And out of 2 seniors, that is huge. When 2 seniors are willing to do work, that makes everyone else buy in as well. And the idea that we talked about with our team stand and talk to each other and have each other's backs, they bought into that too. So it just trickled down. So they did an awesome job as seniors. Every girl did an amazing job that put that uniform on. It was complete buy. I was proud of them.
Yeah, no doubt. In talking with them, you could just tell the maturity level of them. When we talk to a lot of athletes, a lot of times some of them have short answers when we ask questions and that kind of thing. But in interviewing them and just kind of getting to know them during the whole season, you could tell that they were kind of on another level. So I mean, from a leading standpoint, being leaders for your team, I thought that really helped you all out too.
Oh, it's special. There was time, you have special leaders when you can see something coming down the road and the seniors get it before the coach has to deal with it. You don't have to tell the seniors to go get it. They got it. There was times that we had timeouts. As coaches, we didn't say anything. The players ran the timeouts.
Yeah. Okay.
There was times that we would go in and usually the coaches, we talk for a few minutes before we get into halftime in the locker room. There's times we're sitting there by the door and we can hear them in there talking, discussing the game plan and what they need to improve upon. And they're saying the same thing that we're saying out in the hallway. So we'll go in there in the locker room and be like, all right, we got it. Everyone clear what we need to do. Well, let's go back out there. I mean, they made it really simple sometimes. It was nice. It was easy.
You got a bright future ahead of you here, with this team because you're returning all your top scorers. I mean, you got Chloe coming back, you got Farrah Weldon, Ariel West, and just to give some numbers out there, Chloe, she averaged 10.3 points per game, and that was even with her, being injured there for a few games. And then, Farrah Weldon, like we said, 8.2 points per game, and then Ariel West, who I thought really had a great year this past season. I mean, she scored 197 points for you, but she averaged 7.6 points per game. And then Truitt as well. I always remember Catherine Truitt, number 4. I had to program my mind to remember that jersey number because I kept getting her and Ariel West for some reason mixed up every now and then when we were doing the broadcast. But yeah, I mean, she averaged looks like she averaged right at 7.6 points per game as well. Emma Frank, 5.9 points per game, and then you got Hannah Carlisle with 4.7 points per game, and then one of the brightest stars that I think that you've got, who happens to be a soccer star as well, Mary Martin Hampton. I mean, just the hustle that she brought to you. She did an outstanding job too. She averaged 3.4 points per game, but I thought she was a lot better than that points per game average she's got there.
Well, I think I think you hit on really special our team, and something I'm really proud of is we had 7 different girls lead us in scoring at some point this year in a game. We had 5 different girls get plus assists in a game. We had 6 different girls lead us in rebounding. So when you look at, those points, our highest leading scorer was Chloe at 10. And you can look at stat sheets of other teams where you have girls averaging 17, 18, 20 points a game. The girls, they're not selfish at all. They completely bought in the okay, this hot hand, she went for 17 tonight. Okay, well, I'm going to have 5 points, but I'm going to keep feeding her. All that matters is that we win, is that we put ourselves in a position to win. That's the only, and, the girls just completely bought in. And we talked about and said, we're going to train you all here to be basketball players. We're going to train you holistically to be players. If you think you're going to come in, I just want to shoot threes, or I just want to sit on the block up all the time, you're not going to make it here at Catholic. You're not going to do that. We're going to train you to be a basketball player, because what we're going to do is we're going to give you these tools, and then we're going to turn you loose in a game, because you're the one that has to make the decision that game's on the line. I can't call a 30-second timeout all the time and tell you on a sheet of paper, this is exactly what's going to happen in 30 seconds in this game. I cannot tell you that. I can't tell you how they're going to guard that ball screen exactly. We just got to give you those tools, and you have to go out there and make decisions, be as successful as you can. And, talking about the different roles, Mary Martin Hampton, if I could say one thing to her, she had a second half of the year, and she is a spark plug for our team. Yeah. If you go back and watch that film, when she checks in for our team, we are complete. And she absolutely changed our situation in multiple games this year. And she's only a freshman. Chloe Treese, leading scorer, also leading rebounder at our time. She played great defense. She played physical defense this year. West had some coming out games. That Tates Creek game, that district game, that was a huge win. And Ariel Times said, give me the ball, I'm going to go make a play for us. So it's just the girls, we asked them to be flexible, and they accepted that this year. That's the thing I'm really proud about them, is it didn't matter about the game. If their role needed to change for the next 4 minutes, they just said, all right, tell me what I need to do. If I need to go score, that's great. If I need to go guard this person, you just need me to rebound my butt off for the next 3 minutes. That's great. I'll go do that. That's something that they did.
Yeah, definitely. And, it was fun watching. I thought the second half of the season, it was fun watching the team, how they've kind of meshed together and really started playing the way that we thought that they could play. Unfortunately, you're in a tough district. You got, Dunbar, that's out there.
Absolutely.
And historically Lafayette, but Lafayette was a team that you were able to beat one time this year.
Yeah, to split with them, I think when you look at the district this year, when you look at Dunbar and Coach Runyon, Coach Runyon's a good friend of mine. He's a great coach. You don't win the district 3 years in a row if you're not right. Great program right now. But if you look at the district, we were completely split. Coin flip from the second seed all 4 seed. And unfortunately, that 4 seed, Which I said, hey, when this happens, you can take it away from us. You just got to go do it. And this district is young.
Yeah.
Tate's Creek made it to the region this great season. They're returning a lot. We're returning a lot. Dunbar, LC, a lot of good basketball district for a couple of years. A lot of good basketball.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. In getting back to some of the individuals on your team that we want to highlight tonight, when you talk about playing the game of basketball, you got to have people that can rebound for you. And, Emma Frank was one of those young ladies. And then also Farrah Weldon did a great job rebounding for you this season.
Absolutely. Both of them did. Emma, she had a 16 rebound night early in the season. I can remember that game. And I think the goal at Catholic is 21 in a game. So she made that her goal before she graduated. She won that record. So we're definitely going to keep eyes on it. She transitioned from last year to this year, came in and filled that role for us, rebounding-wise. Farrah Weldon is one of those kids that did whatever we asked of her. It's one of those she's one of those kids that maybe when you watch the stat sheet or you look at it in the game, you're like, well, she didn't. And then you go back and you watch film and you realize how important she was to us. Yeah. She'll go back there and she'll have like 0.7 rebound, 4 steal night, and it's just, but you look at, it's such a solid night. We're big. The rebounds that she had were big. She did an amazing job at that. That's 2 of our juniors that are going to be returning next year that really stepped up for us. I was proud of them. They did a really good job with that.
They did, absolutely. Do you remember who, as far as assists go, who was the one that really dished the ball for you this season? We don't have that, unfortunately, on the stats that we've got here because we're pulling out the KHSA side and they don't list assists for some reason. But you guys passed the ball around quite a bit, before you took a lot of shots. So it was probably evened out, I would imagine.
It was, Chloe Treese, had a couple. I know she had one game there where she had 6 assists. It was really. In the end, and I think you go back that stat line, you look at it, I have about 5 or 6 players from that 2 to 4 assist range. So, and again, the way we played, we really have no player. So we have no one where the ball is really going to be in their hands where they might have a chance to be assisted. It's going to be, where do we get this turnover transition out of this break to have the ball in the hand? And they're making reading decisions, which I think makes us more dangerous. When you're us, you have to beat a program, not 1 or 2 players. We have about 7 or 8 kids that can go on there and impact a game at a high level on a given night. So, it was a big.
What's your favorite thing to do outside of basketball, Coach? Just so people can get to know you better. What's some of your favorite hobbies and things?
Outside of basketball, a lot of people don't know this about me. I ride motorcycles. My dad since I was a little kid, so he got me in a motorcycle. That's one reason I was waiting for warm weather to come back out so I can get out on the motorcycle and ride a little bit. I always miss that. And basketball, it keeps me busy in the wintertime. That keeps me busy in the summertime. So that's one thing, hunt, enjoy running, working out, trying to stay busy. I'm not made to be cooped up inside. I'm not a homebody. I'm always out on the road. So that's one thing about me.
I hear you, man. I hear you. So, right now we're kind of in this, this situation with the COVID virus going on. Has that impacted anything, with you or with reaching out to your team and that kind of thing? I know obviously we're not going to school right now, which is a big deal. Do you teach class at Lexington Catholic or you just coach basketball?
Studies teacher there. So I sit in that building. You'll see a lot. I'll say this, team. I want to again to everyone out there who is still working. First year as essential employees, people who are out there just driving the buses and the groceries there, family members who are firefighters and are essential employees. And I get the phone calls 4 times a week about what they're working through. A lot of it is going unseen at times, but it is absolutely keeping us going. So I want to say thank you to them for that. It's not an easy time for anyone right now. It really isn't. We're in a time that no one's ever experienced. So to sit there and say we have answers about how to exactly do this and to come out this on the right. We don't have those answers. We kind of got to learn along the way and do it. As coaches, as teachers, as people in our community, a big responsibility for us to kind of help these kids who are dealing with probably a lot of anxiety and stress about school, family. Everything has changed. Everything's been turned upside down on its head, to help them through that time. And I've told kids before, they've asked me, I said, I don't have an answer to that, but we'll figure something out, and we'll figure something out together. So, just kind of going through there and keeping in touch and checking in and seeing how kids are doing and taking their minds off of things and kind of just showing the easy side of life, and to stat gratitude in what you see. You have to kind of look around your life and stat gratitude and stuff you're grateful for. And if it is a time like right now, or maybe when you think of stuff you're grateful for, you don't get to think of things, but everyone can think of something they're grateful for right now.
Yeah. For me, I know, I kind of think that some of the smaller things that we were used to every day, we kind of took for granted, like going to the grocery store, with the family, or, going out to eat, for example, with the family, or, for me personally, going to a high school game, that just, it's boring times right now, if you will, Coach, not being able to go to a high school game.
It absolutely. I mean, it's made me realize, I was always used to a summer break, so I always had that time and distance away. But to hop on a Friday where they told us, go home, we're going to start online classes. I got into this career because I enjoy being around young people. I enjoy giving them advice, mentoring them, and they say some pretty crazy things and make you laugh every day. So I absolutely, being in that classroom with kids, and not necessarily the curriculum or the lessons I miss. It's those like conversations, that last 5 minutes of class when you talk to kids, and they kind of give you an insight to their life and what's on their minds, and you can do them, and being in the basketball, being in a practice where 20 minutes of practice, a lot of times we're just stretching, kind of just talking to each other. We're just decompressing with each other. How our days went, plans for what's the weekend, and just kind of enjoying being around each other. So I absolutely had a lot. So
yeah, looking back on the season, was there one particular moment that kind of stood out to you that maybe that's the stamp that you want to remember on the season, or?
I would say it was actually at the very end of the year. If I could say, the biggest part is the Bourbon County game. That was a game. It was like the last of school. It was supposed to be our original senior night, so it's been the last week of the season, and we were playing an alumni gym, which kids love. It's everyone refers to it as the old gym, but I mean, there's nothing like a high school basketball game in that gym. I mean, Buter's a beautiful facility, but alumni gym, it's special. And we were playing that game, and we were actually down 14 in the third quarter. And we went on a run. And I always say as a coach, you're doing a good job when you don't have to say much at all. when you're actually not saying much as a coach, you've done your job because the kids have taken it up. They've taken ownership of it. It's their team. And we ended up being able to win that game up in a quarter and a half. And complete team effort. It was a complete team effort. And
when you look at I just going to point this out. When you look at the stats of that particular game, you had 4 players in double digits in scoring. And Farrah Welling put in 10. Also, Chloe Treese had 10. Catherine Truitt, she had 11. And then Mary Martin Hampton had 13 in that game.
And then if you look at, I can't remember off the top of my head, what were the steals for that game for some of our girls?
It doesn't have steals.
We won. I want to say we had almost 17 steals between 4 of our kids that play in the backcourt. So, it was there were so many big shots in that game. I can remember Hannah Carlisle hitting a shot on the wing. Mary Martin getting a steal and hitting a shot in the corner. Chloe Treese had an and one coming off one of our plays. Just, Lily Giles went in there and hit 2 big threes. It was one of those games that I remember honestly saying to myself, to tell myself to take a step back and just watch it, because it was special what those girls were doing. And to kind of just their way and let them go play. We made like 2 adjustments at halftime, and they went and did it. Bourbon was a really good team this year, coach. So for them to go out there and do that in a quarter and a half and just play in and play the way we wanted to play, we asked them to play, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, Hannah Carlisle, she had 8 in that game too. Just to throw her name out there, but that was a good game for you all. You all won that ball game. It looks like 60-49. Yeah, so you know the deal with the old gym, and the reason why we were unable to broadcast games in there is because the internet in there is like non-existent for us to send out the signal. So
I know.
I wish
I have to walk outside in the parking lot to take a phone call.
Yeah, we did the bow signing in there, but what we did was we ended up using the football at the or the internet from the football press box and sending it over through a wireless link. Okay. And we had like this thing duct taped to the door just to get it to work, right?
But that's a high school basketball gym right there. When you've got stuff duct taped everywhere and the crowd's right on top of you, that's the way high school should be in my mind. Fun to play there.
It definitely was that day when Bo signed. I know that.
It was.
Yeah, so, I mean, with this extra free time that you have here, are you creating anything in your playbook? Are you watching any good movies right now?
I haven't watched a lot of movies, but I've been watching a lot of film from the past year. I think I've watched every single game this year. I have a copy of probably twice.
Okay.
I've watched the girls. I've watched, when I'm a game, I'll always watch it. I watch what happened on the floor, and then what happens off the floor. And I watch our reactions to plays. Watching body language just as much as I X's and O's. I watch my own body language. How do I react to plays? How do girls react to the way I'm acting? So I watched every single game in the past week and a half at least 2 or 3 times. So I've been reminiscing on that a lot, watching a lot of basketball.
Did you ever go back and watch that first game that we broadcast for you on the season and me totally getting your name wrong?
Willie T.
Yeah, Willie T.
Great acting. I always laugh at those things. I can remember, we were joking about that, and I was joking with you about the first broadcast I had. I was called Willie T. I can remember when they announced me at Lexington Catholic on publicly, the first caption that anyone posted under the announcement was "Who?" So it was always kind of funny that kind of just building and working your way out, into this new kind of head coaching role. I loved it, but it was fun.
When do you feel like the girls really started to accept you? Was it in practice before your first game, or was it during maybe that first week that you all started playing together? Or because a new coach always has a little bit to grow with the team, right? When do you think that happened for you?
I think I felt accepted from day one. It made it easier for me for the fact that I had been an assistant for years. Right. Some of these girls that I have been coaching since they were 5th and 6th graders. Okay. I was the middle school coach there for 6 years. So, Hannah Lau, Farrell, Emma Frank, I've known all of them since they were 10 or 11 years old. And they played JV when I was a coach. They played 8th grade when I was an 8th grade coach. I was helping out the freshman team when they were playing freshmen. So really we had been around each other for 5+ years, so many of us. Okay. I felt very welcome from the very beginning. And it was kind of like the biggest transition was, how are we going to take, after graduating 5 seniors and then also new coaching staff. And even though you look at, great men like Chloe Treese and girls who in Farewell played a lot before us on the year before, when you're in a new role, it's almost like being a brand new player. Even if I played 20 minutes a year before, but if I went from being the 4th scoring option to now I'm the 2nd or 1st, that's a big change. It doesn't matter how much. So that was one thing that we really just kind of worked on from the very beginning, is we had so many, we had a whole new team. So, it was kind of fun to get to just kind of build that girls. And like I said, we told them, I said, this is your team, this is not our team as a coaching staff. This is your team. You all need to own it. And a player-run team will go a lot further than a coach-run team. So it's going to be on you all to do some of this stuff. It's not going to be on us.
Yeah.
So it was great.
I'm gonna show you some of these highlights here. I'm gonna actually increase the bandwidth on your end too, so that you're able to see in a little bit higher quality. Because what we do just from the tech side, when I send you the signal back over to you, it's at a low quality than what everybody else is seeing it. So let me flash some of these highlights up here, and you can just kind of walk us through some of these if you don't care. We picked a couple games. We got the Bryan Station game, and we picked the West Jessamine game to show. And let me make sure.
Anytime you explain technology to me, man, it's slow. I'm a technology dinosaur, so it's not something I'm good at right there.
It's all good. It's all good. So here we go. Here's some of the highlights. We'll start with the Bryan Station game, and you can just kind of walk us through it.
Perfect.
So it looks like we got the loose ball, and then they end up getting the score there.
Right here. And this is one thing when you go back and look at this highlight. I don't know if you can start these back, go backwards 10 seconds or anything like that. But when you look at Catherine Truitt, number 4, she's a freshman. As soon as she gets that rebound, her head's immediately up. She's looking at 3 different players before she makes a decision. You see her throwing it to Hannah Carlisle. So when you talk about those assists early in the year, that goes back to a drill we do every day where, the kids are head up, you're attacking, you want to get to that three-point line as few dribbles and as fast as you can to put pressure on that defense. So, the girls are out running wide, and Hannah's able to get a rebound there, and Farrah ran wide, which helped Hannah get that rebound. So that read by Catherine Truitt right there, just curl off that screen.
She's got a really good basketball IQ, too, when we talk about Truitt.
She's a very cerebral athlete. You got that little flex right there on that and one. There's a great attitude. They got great personality, like you said. You just saw that a little bit there. But, yeah, absolutely. She is very smart when it comes to athletics and how she sees the game. And she's a great kid to coach because you only got something once or twice to her, and she's going to pick it up. And she'll pick stuff up without even having to see it or you explain it to her at times.
That's Chloe burying a 3.
A nice jab step right there, freeze the defender and elevate for a shot. She had a really good first half in this game. Really good game here.
Now Chloe, her sister played at Oklahoma State briefly, and then
her oldest sister played at Oklahoma, and then her next oldest sister played at Duke and is now at Belmont playing. So She's got there's plenty of basketball in this hold, plenty of basketball.
And you just got to wonder. I mean, she's really good right now, but she probably hasn't even begun to peak yet at all.
Well, one thing I sat down with her, when we kind of took the season, she asked, how can I improve my game or what was the plan for the year? And I told her, I want you to impact games in multiple ways and multiple levels. I don't want you to just say, I'm going to score 20 a night and go from there. And she did that because you look at, I think there was multiple games this year where she scored over 50 points, but there are multiple games where she had double-figure rebounds, where she had 4 or 5 plus assists, where she guarded, the best offensive play, multiple possessions on the other team. That's something I think she took to the level of her game to the next level this year. Is she guarded amazing on the perimeter. She's physical, she's long, she's got good quick step. So she was able, when we switched out, she could guard smaller guards and use that length and strength to guard them, but she can also go in the block and keep people off the boards and really physically rebound and play defense there. So she was able to impact the game in different places and different ways. She had a group think are not even close to seeing what she's going to be able to do before basketball's over with her.
Yeah, I was looking, at some of the game film too, and I noticed that, Farrah Weldon got a lot of second chance opportunities as well, and sometimes she capitalized off of those. Well, quite frequently she capitalized off of those or fed it to teammates.
She rebounded the ball great for a guard this year. She rebounded the ball really, really well, and like you look in, when we kind of think basketball players, she's right there because, like I said, she impacted the game different ways. And did just stuff on a given night that might be missed. But when you watch film and people who basketball look at her and say, I want that girl on my team. She's going to make a team better by what she's doing, even if she isn't maybe scoring 20 points. And she did a great job offensively. She's got a really good timing on those second jumps. So when that shot goes up, if it's around or missed, she has a really good job of using her strength and getting into a spot, getting that ball when it comes off there.
Yeah, and I notice also in a lot of her highlights that she keeps her hands up, above her head quite often when she crashes the board. She doesn't grab it and bring it down to her waist, like most players do that you see. She keeps it up, and then she's either able to put it back in or give it to a teammate to get a bucket for you.
Yeah, she goes at rim, gets her thumbs in her ears, and then does her hide it all. She doesn't bring it down low where there's a lot of hands. So minimizes that movement, minimizes the chance for something to go wrong. She catches, uses her strength, and goes right back up with it. She did a lot of good things for us.
Let's check out this West Jessamine highlight film that we got here for you. This is all the majority of your buckets against West Jessamine. That was a nice little scoop.
And Ariel, her game, it really showed this year. She's such a slasher. She's able to kind of get around people and use her length to really finish at that rim. She can shoot the lights out of the ball, so you have to honor both things. So she really used that well this year. A good job by Chloe Treese driving in there.
Good block.
Here's Mary Martin. I tell you, that spark plug, she's going to come, going to guard you. So
didn't Mary Martin? Now she hit a shot at the buzzer during the last part of the year, right? Didn't she hit one? I think maybe the end of quarter or something. Do you remember that?
She made a lot of shots for us. She did it. She really did an amazing job. We needed a spark energy when that game was kind of starting to teeter and was going on something. You put her in for a few minutes, and like I said, she's going to change the tempo of that. And we wanted to play fast this year, and she was a big part of that right there.
Yeah.
One thing I want to point out, some of these I take by fair, Emma getting wide, not stopping, is if you notice after a lot of our plays here, the girl we watch body language, and we honestly coach demeanor and body language as much as we coach X's and O's. If you notice between a lot of plays, a lot of high-fiving, a lot of talking to each other. We require them to huddle so much per game and to communicate to each other. It shows when you're out there touching and high-fiving, you play better and be more coordinated as a team. So if you see that in between plays, you'll see a lot of our girls talking to each other. It's a great pass by Mary Martin right there.
I think that's the future. And I guess I'm just a big Mary Martin fan, but I mean, my goodness.
I'm a big Mary Martin fan. She's great. And she's only a freshman. I mean, both her and Catherine True are only. So good pass ahead by Hannah Carlisle right there. Hannah, did set us a lot up in our plays. And, if I had to say anything, good shot by Farewell. Anything about Hannah Carlisle, she's just going to make your team better. And I've told her this before. I said, if I'm going to coach anything, she's one of those kids I want on that team. I don't care if it's bocce ball or whatever it is. I want her on that team. She's just going to do something to make your team better.
This is a great take here by Farrah Weldon.
And I think
great finish.
This was the third quarter and one finish in there. Yeah, it was great. And that was a game. Webb played a really good game. They were actually up at time on us too. When they came out, they were scoring the ball really well. So,
yeah,
good job running the floor by Emma and Hannah finding her. You can tell Hannah plays softball because she's going to have her head up right there and then just frozen ropes everywhere she can. So,
sorry about all those UPS swishes there that comes through, but that was our replay sponsor during basketball season, and there's a whole they keep talking about getting their money's worth.
Nah, good. You see right there, nice steal, get in front of that passing lane and dishing down in there. Lily, good steal, cross court pass.
Yeah.
This is the way we really wanted to play. It's and one. Mary Martin. This is really the way we talked about we wanted to play. We're going to press a lot. We're going to play up tempo. We're going to play north and south a lot. We wanted to get into other teams' benches, get them in foul trouble, fatigue their legs. And we talked to a lot of girls, said, we might not be winning games at halftime, but we'll be in a really good spot with the final four game because I think we can run off and leave people right there.
Yeah.
Really create offense out of our defense.
When you're walking down the hallway there, the hallway that's you got your gym and then you got the hallway that leads to the training rooms and stuff. How often do you all stop by the pictures that are on the wall and just kind of remind your team, hey, this is what Lexington Catholic could be?
It's it is truly blessed and to have the program we have. You look back. I had Tony Talbot. He was one of the assistants with us. He shared with me the old 1999 state championship highlight video the other day. We're kind of bored, talking to each other about basketball, and he's like, "I found this while I was cleaning my house for the 17th time," and he sent it to me. And you look at the girls and what they've built and what they've done here. It's really something special. And to go there, and we tell our girls all the time that jersey you put on, it really does put on a Catholic jersey. Teams are going to play well against you. You're going to get their best game every night. It was funny. We did that game with Madison Central this year in Alumni Gym, and we wore the old 06 uniforms, the same uniforms they wore. And Coach Novosel brought her uniform from home and wore she coached. And it was funny when the girls were putting it on. They're like, "Man, these uniforms are really big." And Coach Novosel was like, "Yeah, well, we had some pretty tall girls back then, so we had a couple of 6-footers." They're like, "Yeah, makes sense." But they got to wear those exact same uniforms, and you got to think those uniforms have played in a lot of big games. Those uniforms they played all over the country. That was back traveling to Chicago, Florida, and California, and Boston to play. So you walk down that hallway before you go out there every game, and you've got all those eyes. Those girls that come before you have done a lot of great things there. And there's some pressure, but I always like to share with the girls. That's supporting you. It's special to be a part of that. So don't let that get you nervous. Mm-hmm. Make that go willing to compete for that. The biggest thing to go with that.
Is there? Is there any traditions before each game that you and the team do? Is it like I think about the Notre Dame Fighting Irish where they tap the sign coming out to the field. What's your tradition that you do before every game?
The biggest thing we do for every game is one thing I think the team started this year. This team really likes to dance. And bought a boom box that had like these strobe lights and laser lights. So we usually, as coaches, we don't go in the locker room a lot. We always say that's their space. That's their place to own. Right. So they would turn that radio on probably about 2 hours for the game, and you could hear it out in the hallways. I'm talking like the hallways by like the front of the building. I'm not talking those pictures. And they're in there dancing and listening to music. And there was a couple of times I had to go in there and knock on the door and say, turn this down a little bit. There's more going on in this building than just warming up for a game. So they would go in there and they dance and hang out for a while. But right before a game, the biggest thing we would do is 7 minutes go in. We go in and talk to them, make sure we're on the same page, give them, 3 keys that we're going to work on. At this point, if you don't know the offense, you don't know what we want to do in this game, 7 minutes go in the game, it's not going to matter. So we did 3 keys that, hey, you do this to be successful. And then we always pray right before we take the floor together. And then all the coaches will line up in the hallway and just give everyone high fives as the girls come running out. That's really the biggest tradition we have. The girls huddle before every game. I don't know what they say to each other in that huddle. I don't want to know. Get ready, and that's probably kind of the 2 biggest traditions we have right before the game.
Yeah. Any superstitions or anything like that?
I do. I don't know about the girls if they have some superstitions. I know we have some superstitions as a coaching staff as far as where we sit, what we wear at times. I won't go in there and some of our coaches out about how they do things. I don't think people want to know that. But I have seen girls running back to certain chairs and where they sit. And if we're on a run, they got to go back to that specific seat they were in. But as far as the other superstitions, I don't know what else some of the girls have.
I remember coming to this would have been a boys' game this past season, and I had only had red tape with me, because we run that little cord over to the scorer's table to get the data from the scoreboard control. Well, I only had red tape with me, and the guy that was doing the scoreboard and the announcing, actually, both of those guys, they looked at me and say, "Son, do you know what color red tape or what color tape you've got there. And I looked down, I was like, yeah, it's the red tape. He goes, do you know who we're playing? And it was Dunbar.
Yeah.
So they weren't liking that.
We don't usually like to wear red around that building too much.
Yeah.
That's kind of a no-go zone right there, wearing red. We like blue a little bit.
Yeah, I got to remember that, because there was a couple times where, PrepSpin's got the red in it, and sometimes, let's be honest, I only got so many shirts that I can go through before I have to wash them again, right? So,
we'll hook you up. We'll get you some LP PrepSpin and make sure those are blue. You can wear those. We'll keep it at our and wash it for you and everything, so you'll be good to go when you're there.
There you go. Yeah, I need some Lexington Catholic gear. That's what I need.
Get you going.
So you haven't really watched any movies, or have you read any books at all? Or?
I have. I just finished Coach Krzyzewski's book, The Gold Standard.
Okay.
About building an Olympic team, building the culture. Finished that. I'm getting ready to read by DeWitt. That's probably my next book. I've got it actually on my coffee table right over there. Probably start next weekend.
And what's the name of that one again?
I'll go get it to you real quick.
Okay. Coach Lee Tack on the PrepSpin podcast here with us tonight. He breaking up just a little bit every now and then, but certainly we're able to tell for the most part what Coach Tack is talking about. I want to thank everybody again for tuning in. We're here live with Coach Lee Tack on the PrepSpin podcast. We're simulcasting tonight, as a matter of fact, on all the different channels. Let's see here. I've got if you guys want to interact with Coach Tack, definitely send some messages in. Coach, I
got a couple of the books I'm reading, so if there's any coaches out there that want some good ones. This is the one right here I just finished, Gold Standard right there. It kind of goes to that timeline about building the Olympic team and how they build a team, and talked about basically the alignment that you have to have, which I think is huge for high school sports too. The alignment from the administration all the way down to the kids was big. Toughness by Jay Billis is one that I just reread a couple weeks ago. We've shared that with our girls before. And this is probably one I read last fall. Okay. Matheny Manifesto. And then finally, this is one I'm probably going to get started next weekend or so. The Man Watching.
Nice.
Talking about women's soccer. So it's not just basketball.
Yeah, well, a lot of the soccer books that they've got out actually translates to other sports too, I think. But I got one that I'm going to get you a copy of it too here.
Perfect.
I've got, actually, there's a couple that this guy, Coach D'Angelo Weiser. Hey, do you know Coach Weiser at all?
I do not.
All right, so he used to be the former head coach of Jessamine County girls soccer, and also East Jessamine and West Jessamine, when they did the split. So, he's a long time. He leads, not leads the state in wins, but he's in the top 10 in all-time wins in the state of Kentucky for girls soccer. But he's an author and motivational speaker now.
Okay,
so I thought this one is more for an athletic director, I would imagine. It's called Building a Successful High School Sports Program. But he's got another one that is out too that I'll send you. So I'll get you a copy of both of them.
Oh, awesome. I appreciate that. I love, it doesn't even have to be sports specific. I'd say my favorite subject for reading is just leadership. It's kind of character building, that kind of stuff. Because that goes across every discipline in life that you can do. I can put that, that book by Jay Toughness is not just about how to win a basketball game. It's about how to be successful in a career and how to be with the ones you love and that.
Yeah, the other book that he's got is called Winning Your Players Through Trust, Loyalty, and Respect.
Okay.
It's a pretty good one that he's got out too. So I'll send you that one. I'll send you this one too, just to have something around to read there. But man, it's been good. Right now. Yeah.
It's
what have we not talked about here tonight that we probably should talk about? You mentioned, wearing the Lexington Catholic jersey and what all it means, and truly, honestly, in all sports at Lexington Catholic, when you wear a Lexington Catholic jersey, sure, you guys get seen a lot. There's a lot of media that covers the programs there, just because historically it's such a great program, and even now, with all the great facilities that you guys got there, and just the history of the school and everything, it's always going to be covered well, but and plus you got PrepSpin there too. We got a little deal with you guys, so that's pretty good to highlight the athletes. But wearing that jersey at Lexington Catholic is totally different than I think just about any other school, and that's because of the history in the program. And
I think,
go ahead, Coach.
I think one thing that kind of makes it so special, that further all the time when we talk about this and the kids say this to us, is we truly are, it's a community at Lexington Catholic. When you look at all the sports we have, it's girls basketball program, even those state championships. It's bigger than a team. Right. It's bigger than one sports team. We're bigger than a community. You look at, even when those kids walk out of ours when they're 17, 18 years old, so many of them come back to work there, or they come back to the sporting events. They come back to the events the school has, the fundraisers. When you look at what we do, it truly is, there's people who, kids graduated 30 years ago, but they still come to basketball games. It is a community, it's a family feel. And I think coming in there and being someone not go to high school there, I competed against Lexington Catholic when I was in high school. And now to be on this side of it, I really feel special to have that feeling, because I understand what makes it so special to be an outsider that's come in and be welcomed like this. I realize what this means to our families and our kids and the community that follows Lexington Catholic, and what we store beyond just sports and athletics and academics. It's that mind, spirit, and body. It's truly just building better people. And it's, the people that come in and out of there. It really is. If you've been part of it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a community right there at Lexington Catholic.
Yeah, and I think the slogan there for the school is tradition never graduates, and I truly believe that is true, because like you said, you get so much alumni that's interested in the games. You get people that have been either had their kids go through the programs, or family members going. Like my mom, she actually went to Lexington Catholic, right? So she knows it's a big deal. And so, yeah, I mean, it's a great school, great people there, but like we said, that Lexington Catholic jersey means so much, because everybody's going to give you their best every night. They're coming after you every night just because it says Lexington Catholic on the front, and they look at you guys as the best in just about everything, right? When you're talking about other schools playing you.
And you go back to that community feeling. We have girls play for our 6th and 7th grade teams that come to our varsity games. They are going wild in the stands, and they didn't miss a game. Those girls are still 3-4 years out from wearing that varsity jersey, but they're right there with us every single night. You realize what they're a part of, and it is something special. And every school and every program has a special part of it. And I think Lexington Catholic, I just love being there. I love what we stand for and what we're building and what we've done in the past. It speaks for itself. I think the young girls know that, and they're kind of add their own touch on that history and see what they're capable of doing. And I think we've got a really good shot. We got a lot of good kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Just one more quick thing too. I see a lot of a lot of these tweets and things on Facebook right now of these athletes continue to work out, showing videos of them doing things. I've seen a lot of Lexington Catholic kids do that stuff, but and everybody else too. But what are some of the things that you're telling your kids to kind of stay in shape over the course of this time, and because they don't have access to the facilities that they normally have access to. So
the biggest thing we've done to kind of stay in touch. We've had some Zoom meetings. We talk to each other. We got a group chat that we check in with each other each week together and stuff. Biggest thing is just keeping everyone together. We're going to make it through this all right. Yeah. Just keeping the family together, keeping everyone relaxed, and knowing that even though we know when this is going to end or when the light at the end of the tunnel is, we're going to get there together. That's the thing. Caring for each other, loving each other, and just sticking together no matter what. That's the biggest thing, we do throughout all this.
Yeah, and I've got a couple questions coming into you. One is what's your ultimate goal for next season, and then the other one is what are you going to do with all this great young talent returning?
I would say goal. We let the girls for each season, and I'll be honest with you, as a coach, I don't center around goals a lot, in that I think goals times are based on things that can be out of your control. Sit there and say, "Are we going to win a district title?" Well, obviously, we want to win a district title every year.
Yeah,
we want to read a title every year. If you set that goal and then for some reason that does not mean your season's a failure. We say, you worry about the process. What to say for next year is that throughout the process and next continue to grow on top of what we did this year. We made this year, we take a step forward next year. Because when, Brett Ledbetter says winning is not a reason. Winning is a process. Winning is a process driven by character. So building that character and staying true to that process will bring you the wins. So I'd say the goal next year is to continue building upon what we've done this year, to grow closer as a team, even closer. And then that will bring wins. I'm rarely even in practice do we sit there and say, we hardly ever say it. Even not in a game, I'll sit there and say, you need to win this game. I'll say, you're going to put a really good position in this game. Because I've coached games where, won, but we did better. And I've also where we lost by 25 points and we played pretty stinking well. And our girls played up to their high. So I would say the goal for next year is to take another step forward, to continue to grow as a program, to push these girls outside of their comfort level and to have them grow. Because I think if the girls we have, they're absolutely talented enough. They're a great group of girls. Yeah. So my job is, and my goal for them, hopefully, is for them to step outside their comfort level, for us in there, because they can be really good when they do that. They're going to be really good.
Yeah. Well, that's
and then as far as, I guess that second question on it, I was talking to a coach the other day, and we were talking about kids and groups, and he's talking about how good his young group was, and then we got done playing. I was like, my group's pretty good too. My young group's pretty good too. And we won that game, and I wouldn't trade them for anything in the world. I wouldn't trade them for any other team in the state. They play hard. They go out there and they buy into everything. They play hard for each other. So I think with that young talent, I think the sky is the limit for them. It really is. I'm excited to watch them grow for next year.
Yeah, I think next year is going to be good. Next year will be good.
I absolutely do.
I think, if we looked at the district, maybe we can touch on that just for a second, Coach, is looking at the district for next year. Dunbar is returning everybody just about too. So I would say, as an early look, Dunbar would probably have to be the favorite out of your district next year. But then you start talking about all the other schools, you all, Lafayette, Lexington Christian Academy, and Tate's Creek. Who's number two? If you were to do an early season, it's tough, isn't it?
It is tough. I'm obviously going to say, I think we're number two. I think our girls can beat anyone we play next year.
Yeah.
I think they can. I think we're going to shock a lot of people with these young girls, and the girls that are coming back. Next year, every team's going to be different, even if you return kids.
Right.
Obviously, Tate's Creek, Lafayette, Dunbar, LCA, you're looking at 4 great programs there who have done a lot of great things. Nick's, he's got a great group coming back. Coach Runyon, he does a great job with them. He's got the City Player of the Year coming back. She's a great young lady. She's going to have a great senior. I'm excited just for her senior year as a fan of the game. Even though I know she's on a rival team in the district, I'm excited to see what she's going to do next year and how her game's going to grow. I think it is wide open. I think it really is. I think it's hard to predict that right now because, we're still 6 months out from even getting in the gym together for practice. And we're 8 months out before that ball comes up.
It's very true. Very
so
true.
I think there's a lot of good basketball to have in that district. A lot of good basketball for it.
And a lot of times, you don't never know until the summer really gets here of who has really improved over the summer. Playing in their AAU stuff and just working out over summer. Who really wants it that bad? Because we've seen some kids that have we didn't even hear about them because they were on the bench the year before, and then all of a sudden now they're scoring 20, 25 points a game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the off season is all about you as an individual. Is improving your game. We can improve your game in season, but we tell our girls if you're expecting us for your game to improve drastically from October to March in a practice situation as a team, it's not going to reach its highest level. So March to October, the spring, summer, and fall months, it's all about you. What can we do to set the program up to make you successful, so that when you come back in October, you can make the team successful. So the kids who are working hard right now on the small things in their game, they're going back and watching film, and they're asking themselves after games, what did I do well and how did I do that? But they're also asking themselves, what do I need to improve upon and how do I do that? I think when you watch film, you don't have to just watch things you did wrong. Look at the things you did well. How did you impact that game? And how can you get even better at that for next year so you can impact that game more in that way? So the kids who are going back, they're working on their bodies. We always tell our girls, you use about a month once the season finishes to heal, get your grades, catch up on work if you're missing anything. The biggest thing is just take care of yourselves, because you've been through it for the past 4 months. It's not easy on anyone. Catch up on sleep.
Yeah.
And then take care of yourself off season. That's the thing. Take care of yourself. In your body.
Yeah, I think sleep is pretty important.
Yeah, have some fun in the summer. We're not getting paid professionals to do this. You're still 15 years old. Go be a kid. Go hang out at the pool. Go do whatever. You go on vacations. Go hang out with your family and your friends. We'll spend plenty of time together come December and January. But get out there, and take care of yourself so that you're ready. If you don't take care of yourself, you can't help. So take care of yourself now, team, when you come back.
All right. Yes, sir. That's good advice. Well, Coach, man, it's been fun. I think we hit our hour mark here. So
I appreciate you having me. It's been a lot of fun. Hopefully I didn't talk too much or.
Oh, no, none at all. Not at all. We covered a lot of ground, I thought, tonight. And certainly, we could probably use this as a preview for next year as well, because, you got a great young team coming back, and the future looks bright for Lexington Catholic girls basketball.
It absolutely is bright. Got a great group coming back. Great group, and I'm blessed to be there with them. It's a coach to have a group like this. It really is. I can't say, and I'm excited to be a part of their team and what they build. Program they're going to build in the future. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're thinking about during basketball season next year is to, because we're going to be broadcasting a game on Friday nights most of the time, but I think when we come back to the studio here, we may do a scoreboard type show, and okay. definitely have you on maybe on some of those Friday nights just to recap the games.
It'd be perfect, man. Just let me know what you need. I'm excited. Appreciate everything you do for us. Just not just for high school sports around here.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that.
For a lot of families, a lot of kids, it's a lot.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Coach. And like I said, we'll see you around on campus up there quite often. But take care of yourself, take care of your family, and hopefully we'll get back to basketball real quick.
Hopefully, you do the same. All right. If there's anything you need, whether it's sports or whatever, you just let me know.
Yes, sir. Appreciate your time.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Coach Lee Tegt there of Lexington Catholic girls basketball. Coach Tegt, and young coach. You heard he coached the middle school team. All these girls that are on his team, he coached them in middle school, and he continues to do great things there for Lexington Catholic. And we're so glad that he was able to spend an hour with us here tonight. Again, want to thank Mingy Beef Jerky. Again, we'll be sending Coach Tegt some Mingy Beef Jerky over there. And just for being a guest on the show, Mingy Beef Jerky, the official game day snack of PrepSpin. That's going to do it for me here as well tonight. We'll catch you guys again on Monday night. And we got some big-time guests coming on next week as well. and looking forward to bringing you more of these PrepSpin podcasts, and we'll do so all throughout this whole COVID situation, and we may just keep it as part of our programming on the network since everybody loves them so much, which is pretty cool. We appreciate that. So, again, we want to thank Coach Lee Tech of Lexington Catholic Girls Basketball for joining us tonight. I'm William Moorfield. Until Monday night when I'll see you guys again. So long, everybody.